Hello, Libra, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, which we'll jump into in just a second. I do have the tarot deck that we'll be using already shuffled, as well as the decks that I will be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, so do remember to take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Libra, in your recent past, you have the Ten of Wands with trust all will be well. Immediately when I first started shuffling for this reading, I just felt this just heavy energy. And this kind of clarifies it with the Ten of Wands. It just feels like your recent past was a very heavy, very burdensome energy. And then you have this trust all will be well card, which to me, it's almost like this is the energy you were dealing with. This is the advice from the universe. And I feel like that kind of actually plays out, that theme plays out throughout the messages, because I feel like the universe is like, hey, trust all will be well, and you're like, I'm freaking drowning here. I'm carrying so much, I'm burdened with so much, and I feel like it, when you're in that Ten of Wands energy, it's hard to trust that things are going to turn out all right. Doesn't mean that they're not going to. It just means that sometimes it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, in your current energy, what you're dealing with is the Seven of Swords. I feel like there is a lot of unknown and a lot of not even just uncertainty, but just like you're supposed to trust that things are going to be okay, but you have no idea how that's going to be the case here with the Seven of Swords. And then you have clear your mind. So you're dealing with the Seven of Swords. The universe is asking you to kind of clear your mind here, to try to not allow yourself to get so caught up in, thoughts of worst case scenarios or, what could go wrong, and to really try to lean on the faith as much as you can, because in your immediate future, you have the Wheel of Fortune with lighten up. And so it's like things, start to turn in your favor, and the universe is like, hey, lighten up. Things are fun. Things are good. Everything's working out. I feel like right now, I do feel like this wheel is kind of spinning in your favor in your current energy, even though you can't see it. I feel like your immediate future is more when you're able to see how things are starting to work out for you, which then in turn causes you to lighten up a little bit, right? Like when you're under stress, when you're under a lot of pressure, when you're in a lot of uncertainty, it's hard to, fully relax into the belief that everything's going to be okay. But then I feel like as you continue to start to see that things work out and things, always kind of you continue to land on your feet, I feel like it gets easier and easier to trust that things are going to be okay. All right, so let's start, Libra, by looking at your recent past. You have trust all will be well with the Ten of Wands. Recent past for Libra, please. One more. This is for Libra's recent past. Heavy, not so happy energy with the Sun in reverse. I feel like it just feels like kind of this rain cloud that I feel like was over your life, or maybe your relationships, or certain aspects. It doesn't have to be your life as a whole. It can be certain aspects, but it certainly can also be your life as a whole. And I feel like this rain cloud made it really hard for you to believe that things were going to work out, because I feel like it just kind of felt like it was doom and gloom in a lot of different aspects of your life. Now, maybe it was one situation that led to that, or maybe it was a lot of different situations that kind of piled up and led to this energy. But I do feel like the underlying for all of this is you have trust all will be well, clear your mind, and lighten up, right? So what I'm getting from these messages, even if you just look at it collectively as one message, it's, hey, everything's going to be okay, even if you don't know how yet. Try not to get caught up in your thoughts, and release that kind of heavy negative energy as much as you can, and try to lighten your energy and enjoy where you're at right now, even if it isn't exactly what you want it to look like. It very well is still working out for you in your highest good. But let's get more on your recent past. It's like the sun was gone. The sun kind of left your life a little bit. Maybe you were kind of left with some heaviness, some darkness. Recent past for Libra. Eight of Wands in reverse with the King of Swords in reverse. And then there's that Five of Swords and Five of Wands. So deep in survival mode in your recent past year, Libra. The Eight of Wands in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse. This to me is an energy of like almost like, so this can be an energy of confusion, not able to see things clearly. And that makes a lot of sense because I feel like what the energy that you were in was very deceptive in a way, like what was happening made it hard for you to see any kind of positivity in the situation. So that kind of caused you to slip into this King of Swords in reverse energy. And that King of Swords in reverse energy is, kind of expecting things to go wrong. When you experience a lot of things going wrong or one big situation that goes wrong, it's really easy to kind of get into the expectation of things going wrong. And with the Five of Wands and Five of Swords here, it really does feel like this is like some deep in survival mode, deep in this feeling of having to protect yourself, deep in, constantly feeling like you're battling certain people or situations, just having a hard time essentially just being and feeling like you're constantly having to survive and fight for that survival. And so that energy is really tough. And that's why I feel like immediately when I started shuffling these cards, I got like this like heavy, burdensome energy that you guys have been dealing with. And I feel like it's not, it could be like in the past couple of weeks or months, but I actually feel like this is more for the majority of the collective. Like this has been happening for a couple of years, if not like several years. And so I do feel like this is kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, you might have been feeling that way for a while, and so maybe it's hard to believe that that's true, but I do really feel like that you're kind of coming to the end of some pretty tough energy here. Reset past for Libra. Reset past for Libra, please. Okay. The one that I really want to talk about is this Three of Wands in reverse energy. I just talked about how you were pretty deep in survival mode, and I feel like you have been or were in that survival mode for so long, or in this heavy energy for so long, that in a really backwards way, it actually kind of became your comfort zone. And the thought of being in anything outside of that energy is like almost unfathomable or unthinkable for you, Libra, because I feel like, for a while it kind of feels like you would get your hopes up and then those hopes would kind of be crushed, or you would start to feel like things were going to change and, for the better, and then they would change for the worse. And it feels like it just kind of was like life kept kind of hitting you, kicking you while you were down almost. And I feel like through that, when you experience that energy, and when you especially experience that energy for a lengthy amount of time, it can be really, really difficult to ever get yourself out of that energy. And so I'm hoping with this reading, it's, the point of it, I really feel, is going to be not just a message of hope, because I think that can be, while messages of hope are fantastic, and knowing that, you are being supported and that good things are coming your way can absolutely help. You are also kind of the only one who can dig yourself out of this energy. And I feel like you are more than capable to do that. And I feel like this reading is a lot about, how you can do that, and what tools you will need to help you do that. But let's shift gears here. Let's look at your current energy. You have clear your mind with the Seven of Swords. This is for Libra's current energy, clarifying clear your mind with the Seven of Swords. Current energy for Libra, please. Current energy for Libra. Ace of Cups in reverse with the Eight of Cups. Okay. Kind of, you've had your world flipped upside down. There's no doubt about that. And I feel like now you're trying to recover from that. And again, this recovery period, I feel like, has been happening for a really long time. And it just feels like kind of like you look at this card, like it's like you are always looking ahead and there's always so many more mountains to climb. Like if you look at it, it's like you've come so far, you've healed a lot, you've grown and you've pushed yourself, but it just feels like you constantly look in the distance and are seeing just more mountains to climb. And when that's the case, it can be really discouraging because it can feel like you're never going to get out of the energy that you are in or have been in. And what that can do is that can cause you to stop fighting for yourself and for your life. When you start to believe that there's no point because things don't work out for you or you always end up hurt or whatever the case is, then you start to believe that there's no point. And you start to believe that the life of your dreams is never going to be possible. So you might as well just stay, where you're at and not push forward through kind of the energy that you've been dealing with. And I feel like that's why, first and foremost, with the Seven of Swords, what I'm really seeing is that there is a lot that you don't know about what's possible for you, about what's coming towards you, in a very good way. Like, I feel like you couldn't have guessed what has happened so far, and I feel like it's all kind of been negative. Not all been negative. I don't want to say it's all been negative for you, but for the most part, a lot of it has been negative, and I feel like it was, you couldn't have seen it coming. So now, what I feel like the universe is saying is, yes, you've been through a lot and you never would have seen what happened to you coming, but you also don't really see the good that's coming towards you either. Life in it isn't always this uphill kind of battle here. Now, sometimes it can certainly feel like that, again, when we've been stuck in that energy for so long. That's why I feel like you have this clear your mind energy, is trying not to get caught up in the negativity, trying your hardest to direct your focus to the good that you do have in your life and do still have in your life. And, our perspective is everything. And what we focus on, we're going to expand that energy in our life. And so expanding on the good that you have and the good that you have been able to create despite what's happened is going to be key for you right now, Libra. All right, current energy for Libra, clarifying, clear your mind with the Seven of Swords. Current energy for Libra, clarifying, clear your mind with the Seven of Swords. Somebody needs to hear that the best days are not behind you. Your best days are not behind you. That might not be for everyone, but some people needed to hear that message. It's because you have the Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. And then you have this Six of Cups with the Hermit in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like when you look at your life and you look at what has happened and what you've been through and what you've been dealing with, I feel like it's really hard to believe that things are ever going to get better again. And I keep repeating that message in this. Like, it's hard to believe that things are ever going to get better, but they are and they will. But your belief in that is going to be what creates them. So it's kind of twofold there. But I feel like you're wanting to get back to this Queen of Pentacles. I feel like since you've been dealing with this kind of heavy, burdensome energy, there's been a lack of stability and security in your life, whether that's in your relationships, in your financial situation, your career path, whatever the case it is. And there's a lot of just kind of going through the motions here. And I feel like as you go through the motions, the reason that you're kind of just going through the motions is because you believe that on some level, the best days are behind you. And I get that, and I've certainly been there, but I feel like it's really important, Libra, for you, especially right now, when you're kind of in this energy of having the ability to create the life that you deserve, because I feel like, I don't know if you experienced loss. I don't know if it's just been kind of like I said, like one thing after another. I don't know what it was, but whatever this was, it feels like I don't know if you feel like you missed your chance or you lost your opportunity or what the case is, but that's not true. You have the ability to create the life that you are deserving of, and the universe is here to support you in that manner, because I feel like you feel like this Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles is behind you. I actually feel like this is ahead of you. I feel like you haven't you haven't met everybody that's going to love you. You haven't seen and experienced all of the good things there are to see and experience in your life. Sure, there probably are good times that are behind you, but that doesn't mean that only bad times are ahead of you. I hope that that makes sense. And again, this feels very specific for someone out there, kind of a heavier reading. So I'm not sure if this is going to resonate with everyone, but I do hope that that is hitting home for somebody out there. Okay, current energy for Libra. I actually feel like your best days are ahead of you. Your best days are in front of you. Current energy for Libra, like no matter how old you are. I don't care if you're 85 years old. Two of Swords in reverse with the Hierophant. So here is the kicker to all of this. Your perspective, because there's Strength in reverse too, and your faith that the universe has your back, even if it hasn't felt like it, even if it's been hard to believe that, is everything for you right now. It's really important that you try your hardest to understand how much your perspective creates and affects your reality. If you believe that everything is always going to be bad and that nothing's ever going to work out for you and that you're always going to be stuck and you're always going to be sad and you're always going to be lost and you're always going to be alone or whatever the case is, then you are absolutely going to be right. Now, the reason that you believe that is because it's a lot of what you've experienced. So there's no shame or you haven't done anything wrong by thinking and believing the way that you do. But you don't want to be stuck in that perspective forever, because something I used to say a lot in my own personal life before I kind of started to realize how much our words and our perspective matter was, expect the worst and then you'll never be disappointed. Well, then you start to learn when you're on the spiritual journey how your expectations actually create your reality. How you expect things to go is going to be how you experience things going. And if you expect things to go wrong, then most of the time you'll experience things going wrong. I don't know, I don't know if you've ever met one of these people, but there's those people in life, and I would like to say that I'm now one of them, who annoyingly, admittedly, will talk about how everything always works out for them and how, things are always, solutions are always there for them. They always get the best parking spot. They always get what they want. Like, they talk a lot about it and then it actually happens to them. And that can, when you're around those kinds of people, it can be like eye roll, like, my gosh. And when you start to get on the spiritual journey, you start to realize, man, it's because they create it. It's because they genuinely believe that, because they've created these experiences that have then proved that things always work out for them because they always say it and then they keep saying it, which means things work out for them. And your perspective is so much more powerful than you think. Now, your perspective's been really messed up and it's been really effed up because of what's happened to you. And that makes plenty of sense, but you have the power to change it. And you have the power to try to lean a little bit more on the positive expectation than, the negative expectation that I do feel like you kind of have right now because of what it is that you've been through. Now, I'm not talking about toxic positivity. You don't have to walk around saying things are great, nothing's wrong. Everything works out all the time, because that's not true and that's not reality and that's not going to help anybody. I'm not saying avoid the negative feelings that you have. I'm saying try your hardest to focus on optimism and faith and, focus on what good could potentially come to you, even if things do look bad right now. Giving space for the reality that you're experiencing while also holding on to the hope that good things are coming, and leaning onto the faith that you don't just have to hope, you can also believe that, you've been through it, right? Eventually the tables have to turn. Life is an up and down journey. If you've been down for so long, eventually you've got to be on the up and up. And I feel like that's starting to happen for you now. All right, immediate future for Libra, clarifying, lighten up with the Wheel of Fortune. Immediate future for Libra, clarifying, lighten up with the Wheel of Fortune. Immediate future for Libra, one more. Libra's immediate future, clarifying, lighten up with the Wheel of Fortune. This is for Libra's immediate future. So there's a lot of unknown for you, and for you in the past, unknown is scary and bad. But I feel like this time around, the unknown might actually be a really good thing for you. King of Swords with the Lovers. You have to believe that you deserve it. If you want things to go your way, if you want to start experiencing good in your life, then you have got to believe that you are worthy and deserving of good things. Now, if you've been through a lot that has seemingly shown you that you're not deserving of good things, then it makes sense that you don't believe that you are deserving of good things. But until you start to believe that you're deserving of good things, you're not going to create good things. The world around you is always going to be a reflection of your inner belief system and your relationship with yourself and what you believe about yourself and the world. And that's why the saying is, as above, so below, as within, so without. Whatever your inner world looks like, you are going to project and see in your outer environment, and your projection is going to create your reality in the future. And so focusing on trying to realize that the wheel is always wanting to turn in your favor. The universe wants things to work out for you. Sure, you might have had to go through some things to learn certain lessons and to tap into a deeper part of you and a deeper spiritual connection that you wouldn't have had if you didn't go through those things. But now it's time for things to go well, and you're allowed to start to see things from that perspective of, man, I've been through a lot, I've learned my lessons, and I'm ready for the good. And sometimes it can be really scary to think in that way, especially if you've experienced things not going well for so long. But you don't have to be stuck in survival mode anymore. You can thrive, you can enjoy your life, you can wake up excited and happy for the life that you're living, and not afraid and scared of what's going to come next because of what you've been through. Immediate future for Libra, please. Immediate future for Libra. Knight of Wands with the Seven of Swords. Leap of faith. Embracing the unknown, because it's the same Seven of Swords as you're dealing with in your current energy. Learning to rely on the universe is tricky, because you lean on the universe for faith, and sometimes things will work out, sometimes they won't, not because they're not working out, because they weren't supposed to work out that way, and they work out in other ways. And as you embrace the unknown and you embrace that faith, your faith gets stronger, and then you take riskier steps, and that's how you create the life of your dreams. Right now, Libra, I feel like you're seriously lacking faith. And I'm not going to blame you for that. I don't know what you've been through. I mean, just based on this energy, it's been through hell. You've been through hell. But the more that you can try to see life and what you've been through less as a punishment and more as a lesson, and try to see what the reason behind the experience is, then the more that you can, stop fearing the repetition. If we learn from our past, then we don't have to fear the repetition of our past, because we understand why it had to happen and what, we need to do moving forward to make sure that it doesn't happen that way. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to embrace the unknown. It's hard to believe that things are going to work out in our favor. But I do genuinely believe, like this wheel, I believe that it's turning in your favor just based on what I can see here. And I do think that the more you start to see things working out for you, the more you're going to lighten up, and the more that your energy is going to get looser, and the more that you're going to be able to attract better. Right now, you're in this heavy, and have been in this heavy, burdensome energy. I feel like you're in between right now. You're in between things not going your way and things going your way. You're kind of in this limbo period. And that can be difficult, because you're like, well, what the hell's going to happen? I've been kind of blindsided in the past, and I don't want to be blindsided with any more bad. Then start believing that good can come, and start, seeing what it is that you need to do to create that good. Immediate future for Libra. What does Libra need to know about their immediate future? Embrace the unknown, Libra. Immediate future for Libra. Here you are, as the Empress. Queen of Cups in reverse, Two of Swords, Seven of Cups. In your immediate future, Libra, I see you at this crossroads. It's like, I don't know if it's a choice or a path, but I see you at this point where you're going to have to choose differently than you have in the past. And you're going to have to choose what puts you first, what you know is best for you. Whether that's in relationships or whether that's in your career, I'm not sure. But I feel like if you're able to choose what's best for you, and maybe that's walking away from someone or something that isn't serving you. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's, I don't know. It could be anything. And that crossroad is going to come with a lot of emotion, because I feel like, you know, when we're kind of put at a point of a crossroad, usually it's because the universe is saying, choose your past or choose your future. And if we, you know, are experiencing that crossroad, we can kind of feel a lot of what we felt in the past kind of come up all at once. And so I see you being a little overwhelmed and not sure what to do. And the answer to that question is to embrace the faith that comes with choosing yourself, whatever that looks like for you. And that will turn the wheel in your favor by far. So your immediate future is changing the way that you choose your movements, choices, and decisions because of a different perspective is created. If you have the perspective of faith and the belief that the universe has your back, you're going to choose differently than when you have the perspective that nothing ever works out for you and things always go wrong. You know, there's something I saw on Facebook, I think it was this week, or last week actually, and it said, if you believe it's possible, you will always see opportunity. It said, if you don't believe it's possible, you will always see obstacles. If you believe that things are never going to work out, then you will always see reasons as to why they're never going to work out, and that will affect your reality, and that will become your reality. If you can start to believe that things will work out despite the fact that despite the fact that you haven't experienced that before, then you will start to see that can become your reality slowly but surely. Okay, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to look at what you need to do. So this is what you need to know. We're going to look at what you need to do right now in order to move forward and align with your higher self. So we're going to dive deeper into these messages and see what it is that you need to see, as well as pull an advice card for you at the end. Thank you so much, Libra, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Libra, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Libra.